Fogo.
Good day, Internet, and welcome to the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the New Eurekan Poets Cafe. I am your host for the evening. My name is Advocate of Words. This is show number 34. We have done this for 34 weeks in a row. I really enjoy when we get up. I enjoy every Monday. Usually I hate Mondays, but today I love Mondays, and that is because of you. So, as I said, this is episode number 34. We do this every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We are streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube. If you want to join us on Zoom, the number is at the bottom, 279-995-364. We would like to thank the National Endowment for the Arts, the New York State Council on the Arts, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, Amazon Literary Partnership, and the New York Community Trust. You too can support us with a tax-deductible donation at neweurekan.org/contribute, or on Cash App. You can reach us at New Eurekan Poets Cafe. Tonight's theme is Darkest Winter. I am prepared for the darkest winter. It's going to be cold. Every week we have a theme, except for next week. There is no theme next week. In 2 weeks, our theme is going to be a new language. I'm looking forward to that. After that, our theme is going to be original inspiration. December 21st is the birthday of a very good friend of mine, a gentleman by the name of Fenord. And he's the one who actually set me on this path of writing poetry. So he's like my original inspiration. So that's going to be the theme, December 21st. You don't have to write about my friend. You don't know who he is, but the original inspiration. And then December 28th is going to be our last show together for 2020. Everyone has a different way of looking at 2020. I'm pretty sure this is going to be an easy topic, but I would like to hear poems where the first line begins with 2020 was. I'm looking forward to that. So I think I've covered everything. We have 25 people who are guaranteed to perform tonight. They've signed up on the list. They have 4 minutes to perform their poem or poems, 4 minutes. Then we're going to quickly ask for you to share your social media handles so that everyone can follow you and we can all make friends. After the people perform, we like to unmute everyone so you can be loud and obnoxious and hoot and holler so that we can feel like we're at a real open mic. So I think I've covered everything. Also, those of you who are here on Zoom and have signed up for the open mic, make sure that you are checking out Zoom because you're going to see who is coming up next. So first coming up is Generalissimo. Where is my brother Brian? Where's Generalissimo? And he hit me up on Facebook. So I know he's got to be here somewhere. Generalissimo, where are you? Go. No. Oh, yeah, he is. I see him. I see him. He almost had a heart attack. That's why I saw him. His face jumped up. He was like, no, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
Can you hear
There
me
we
now?
go. Yep, I can hear you. How are you, brother?
My electricity is out. I've got about 18% on my phone right now. So
okay, get into it.
Get into it. It's raining. It's 23 miles per hour winds outside. It's horrible in Maine. So I've got a new haiku. When it rains and rains, my mind sends me to places perfect for drowning. Thank you. This is two new older poems. First is called Incarnations of Beaches. When I walk the beach, apparitions of my former self often walk with me. 5-year-old me fills his hands with sandy mud and lets escape his fingers. 7-year-old me draws a crooked line through wet sand with his big toe. He walks at tide's edge. Warm Gulf of Mexico water rushes over his feet. 8-year-old me writes his name in the same sand with the same big toe. 10-year-old me plays frisbee with his brothers who catch it every time. He doesn't stop smiling despite that he rarely catches the frisbee himself. Teenage me wants to jump off the Alabama Point Bridge because everyone else says they've done it. 21-year-old me who bikes 20 miles 4 days a week refuses to remove his trunks at a California nude beach. 23-year-old me walks alone on a winter day and marvels at stark gray winter sky against white sand and turquoise water. He laughs at a joke his father told him. He can't stop laughing because no one could tell a joke like Dad. 1 month prior, he recited Kaddish as he tossed fresh dirt atop a wooden casket with shiny brass rails. In another year, he will place a rock upon his father's gravestone. A newly graduated bee sits in a beach chair with a brother to the left and a brother to the right. They tell their favorite jokes their father used to tell them. He grabs 2 Heinekens from a cooler, hands them to his brother, then takes one for himself. A 44-year-old me draws a long straight line through wet sand with his big toe. He walks at tide's edge. Cold Atlantic water rushes over his. He wonders why he hasn't been to a beach in 9 years. The next poem is called Achieving Contentedness. Silky popham sand sifts silently through my toes. The scent of seaweed and salt air takes me to a place once reserved for magnolia blossoms blooming on steamy Alabama evenings. A tree lies horizontally halfway down a jetty. Its long, proud trunk is branchless, barkless, rendering it a piece of driftwood the length of a house. Its entire root structure is exposed, a kaleidoscope of shapes and forms. Where two roots meet, there is a face, possibly the profile of a Maliseet medicine man who 3 or 4 centuries ago was buried at the roots of the tree, his spirit absorbed by the roots and released through leaves. A gray gull flies above me, jetting back and forth in no particular pattern, but stays within my sight lines. I wonder if this bird is my father's spirit descending from above, who advised me on a personal turmoil. The contour of its wingspan is one of nature's great sculptures. With every flap, a multitude of temporary sculptures are created. When it flies into firmament, I realize the sky was created solely as a place for birds to fly. As I watch the tide slowly inch toward the horizon, I wonder how long it would take for the water to return with enough force to flood my feet and ankles, creating a rich, luxurious mud that when I lift my feet will form footprints, only to have them washed away by ocean brine laced with seaweed. Thank you, everyone.
Unmute yourselves and give it up for Generalissimo.
Yeah. Nicely done.
Okay, thank you.
That was fucking
Love
beautiful,
it,
man.
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 Yeah, man.
Nice.
Speak my language.
Generalissimo, Paul Skiff had said, really dense images. He loved it. And then Sam Park put, release through the leaves. I love that. Is awesome. Generalissimo, before we lose your power, let the people know where they can find you online.
Yes, it is Brian Ira Franco on Facebook. And then on Instagram, it's GNRLSMO. And thank you everyone for listening to me, and thank you Advocate for popping me up here because of my power issues. And it's, this is such a wonderful place, and it's a new family for me. And so I love the new yo. I can't wait to step on stage there one day.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Generally, make sure you put that information into the chat. I muted myself by accident. Thank you, Generally Simone. And stay safe out there, man. Stay safe. Hopefully everything gets all the power returned and all is good. Hit me up tomorrow. Let me know you good. All right. Next coming up. Also, I apologize. They were supposed to send an email out to let people know about the list. In the chat, I put up the list of the guaranteed list and then who is on the waiting list. Next up, we are going to the word verse. No longer the skip verse, and that is to speak with Mr. Paul Skiff. Paul, how are you this evening?
I'm okay, just rushing to keep up with too much going on in my life today, but that's a good distraction. Happy to be back here with everybody, that's for sure.
Awesome, awesome. Well, yeah, I'm glad that you were able to make time for us today. I know how things can get busy, so I'm gonna mute myself and take us through the word verse.
Okay, I just have two short things for you all today. What can I space out into? What can I space out on? 2 light bulbs, some shadows on the wall, 3 hats hung off top corner of the shelf, 3 hats from the city whose inhabitants name it La Heroica. 1 more hat created from a coffee sack, worn burlap colored with green, red, and slogans. A 13-year-old bike, 2 socks and a pair of shorts hung on a coat hanger to dry in the open window. Squat pickle jar holding herbal relaxants, goji, white widow, alien OG, getting totally mashuga googa boogad. Now, don't get ahead of yourself. This is just one of the possible things that could have happened to me today, but I'm saying that from somewhere else now. The second piece is, I tried to find something that was cold for the winter theme, so. I will drag you out of here by your teeth, brags the cop over wino he has slammed flat against the laundromat floor. No one laughs. The night is so frigid a dog has gone mad out front, ripping people's pants as they strut past, punched through thumb-pierced slot, George Washington's silver profiles clatter naked into unseen private needs. The fear in life is dirt, bare as silence of strangers who hold themselves in while set off by passivity. Pounds of soggy clothes bounce dead in hollow spools down whose ranks to numbly spun voice of motors blindly stewed wino is collar hauled over the frozen street of the cop's spiteful authority described by lack of contest into ignored question of who is more foul. Like fleas, the wino's buttons jump off his coat while out front percussion is pounded by a boy with a stick on the mad dog's skull. This laundromat has become the house of corrections, and everyone in here is now fumbling around our involuntary membership in pathetic stupor.
Unmute yourselves and give some love to Paul Skiff.
Oh,
Oh,
hell yeah.
nicely done.
Oh,
Alright.
Skiff. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. That was
Well,
tremendous, brother.
The
Thank you
metaphors.
so much for spitting that up in there.
Brilliant.
Paul Skiff is a New Eurekan Poets Cafe OG. Like I say, he's got more claim to this open mic than I do. Paul, where can the people find you online?
It's just paulskiff.com. Thanks again for fronting this up. You are a very, very hard-working poet in this game. Let me tell you. Oh, I want it. It doesn't take up too much time. How'd your son do with the baseball tryouts?
Yeah, he didn't make it, unfortunately, but we have other teams to try out for. I have some ideas as to why he didn't, but we can't get into it right now.
Yeah.
I think it's a great learning lesson for him right now because
He's young.
Yeah, he's 10 years old, and he was having, for months, he was just having so much success with like no resistance. So, this is going to be a challenge right here, and it's going to, test his character. So, but he's been working out harder. Thank you for asking. And, it's just begun for him. The baseball life's just begun.
Well, thanks everybody for being here again. I'm looking forward. It was fun to go second, so now I get the rest of the night to kick back and gobble up what everybody's going to offer. So I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, everybody, for coming here again.
Thank you, Paul. PaulSkiff.com. Go check this dude out. Like I said, he knows a lot of history about the New York. So he's a good person to speak with. Next up, we are going to the man who's never afraid to speak, Mr. Speaker. And I'm loving his background now. We're in like a speaker verse. Is that what it is now? Everyone's going to have their own verse. Everyone's tired of the open mic universe. We're going to have everyone in their own verse. Mr. Speaker, how are you this evening?
I'm good. I'm ready. I love these nights.
Before we saw your background, I saw you had some 2 decked out, like reclining chairs. I'm about to show my age, but I quickly thought of The Apartment with Chandler and Joey. I saw those type of lean back chairs. I was like, I got to go over there and watch a game with Mr. Speaker. But we're here to hear his poetry. Let me mute myself. Go ahead, brother.
Let's grow. Let's grow. Little Africa. Let me take you back in time and provide you with some knowledge. See, I'm gonna tell you about a place you just probably won't hear about while attending college. The time was 1870 to 1921 for your historical notation, and the north side of Tulsa, Oklahoma is the actual recorded location. North Tulsa was called Little Africa, as this name marked praise, the most affluent Black community in America. The witnesses were amazed. Jim Crow laws created all Black communities. See, we cannot deny this. And right down racial lines was how the United States was divided. Tulsa, Oklahoma was separated by the Arkansas River, but not equal by any tale. See, the white side was not nearly as prosperous while the Black community completely excelled. Little Africa contained Black doctors, politicians, or barons and PhDs. All Black businesses, farms, schools, and many Black attorneys, Black-owned restaurants, grocery stores, libraries, movie theaters, and places to sleep. So many prosperous businesses that Greenwood Avenue was called Black Wall Street. Yes, Black Wall Street, because see, that's just how much money flowed. I'm not making this up, it's research, and it's the truth history holds. Nepotism kept the money circulating within the community, even for loans. Everyone purchased from their neighbor, which kept the money coming right back home. Brotherly love and altruism were practiced, while crimes were very low. Morals were taught to all, and children actually did what they were told. Neighbors volunteered to help other neighbors in times of trouble. City families had about 5 children, while farming families had about double. White coal miners came to North Tulsa to work 72-hour-long shifts as well. So they too helped the pockets of these Black businesses to swell. In the 1800s, Little Africa had its own transportation system to support them all. Blacks kept to themselves, took care of each other so no citizen would fall. From Greenwood Avenue to Archer and Pine Streets, life was prosperous and grand. And if you take the first letters of those streets, GAP, you will see that's where they got the name for the Gap Band. Shouts out to Uncle Charlie. By 1921, there were over 100 Black millionaires. 6 even owned airplanes. Black Wall Street was thriving and looking for more financial gains. But on the South Side, whites lived below the poverty line. And white servicemen returning from World War I, well, they also fell on hard times. So what happened to Little Africa, one might say? Well, the Ku Klux Klan decided they were going to take that prosperity away. So on the 1st of June, 1921, envy, greed, and jealousy took control when a Black Holocaust in America was about to unfold. This race riot was one of the most violent ever carried out on American people. It was the largest massacre of non-military Americans in history with no recorded equal. Within hours, hundreds of Black-owned businesses destroyed on the north side of town. 3,000 men, women, and children dead, hundreds could not be found. Over 600 buildings destroyed, looted, no longer around. Hundreds of homes lit up the skies as they were burned to the ground while good white Christian families just watched and stood around, witnesses to the KKK killing anyone whose skin color was brown. Little Africa was unlawfully lynched as this massacre went for 72 hours and from yard to yard until the white sheriff sent his Black deputy to call out the state's National Guard. The National Guard came to prevent the loss of more innocent lives as death is what they saw. And the first order of business was to establish and enforce martial law. They stopped the killings, aerial bombings, disarmed and sent the Klan home while doing their jobs, but they failed to prevent the loss of hundreds of businesses. Dozens of grocery stores, churches, restaurants, hundreds of homes, farms, 2 movie theaters, banks, schools, pawn shops, jewelry stores, and even a hospital laid in the wake of this hateful and angry mob. Restitutions never happened. Insurance claims dishonored and Black voices silenced. Mass graves around the city hid this act of complete and senseless violence. Impacts. Today, African Americans have little nepotism and we've lost a lot of our financial power. We seldom support each other and our money can leave the community within about a couple of hours. So consider this your history lesson for today. And do not underestimate your economic might, because baby, if you don't honor and protect what you have, it could be gone overnight.
Unmute yourselves, give some
Peace.
energy to Mr.
Wow.
Speaker.
About some rage over here. Okay? That's right, I'm mad.
Dope.
Mr. Speaker, he about to lead us in the war, man.
All peace. All peace.
I love it, Mr. Speaker. Where can we find you online, sir?
MrSpeakerInc.com, right here on Thursdays and Mondays. And hey, let's grow together. That's why I said let's grow.
I love it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Look out for him. Mr. Speaker, also make sure that you check the chat. A lot of people had a lot of nice things to say about your poem and of course your delivery, man. He is a leader, all right? If we were to turn the New York into an NFL team, I'd be like, yo, Mr. Speaker, man, you're gonna be head coach. We're gonna listen to you no matter what you say. He can convince us the sky is pink and it would take him just a few seconds. Yo, he's right. Mr. Speaker says we believe it. Love this dude. All right, next we are going to the GOAT out in the West Coast, and that is Mr. Goldberg, Alexander Goldberg. How are you this evening?
I am good. I'm in a holiday mood still. We had a great celebration of Thanksgiving last Thursday, and last Monday I sang a Christmas song, and tonight I'm also doing a poem on Christmas.
I get it. You feeling festive? Get into it. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, and I try to stick to the theme of the darkest winter, but at the same time I also try to flip it a little bit and add a little bit more optimism and positive vibes to it. So it has been, it is a tradition for many cities of the world to erect and decorate and light up the Christmas tree in the central area of the city. And in New York City, this tradition has been going on for 89 years. And this year, this tradition will continue on December 2nd. And I know that the year 2020 has been a difficult year for all of us, but we're looking at the future with optimism and hope. So the Christmas tree symbolizes unfading goodness and undying nature. So the poem that I'm reading tonight is called "The Tree is Lit, That's What We Need." It is the darkest winter, but we can see the light. At Rockefeller Center, the tree will shine at night. It's what we always wanted. The tree is here. How fun. It comes from Oneonta. It weighs 11 tons. We feared, because of COVID, it would be dark and sad. But there's no need to worry. Concessions have been made. The good news is, for 2 more nights, New Yorkers have to wait. By 50,000 colored lights, tree will illuminate. The crystal star will decorate the top of Christmas tree. Swarovski masters have created for New York to see. Limited access now remains, so there won't be a crowd. The ceremony will take place with no people around. The holiday is still here, and we will be all right. It is the darkest winter, but we can see the light.
Love that.
Unmute yourself, give some
Nicely
love to the
done
goat.
there, Mr.
Woo!
Go,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Goldberg.
Very nice, Alex.
Alex.
Very
Go.
nice.
Thank you.
Here's,
Alexander Goldberg, the GOAT. When I give out these themes, I want you guys to write to them, but flip it however you want. I love the way you flipped it, Alexander. Where can the people find you online?
Alexander Goldberg 35 on Facebook, Gon15 on Twitter, and Gorbensky on Instagram. Thank you so much.
Alexander the GOAT Goldberg. Make sure you put it in the chat. Everyone in Zoom, make sure you go check out the chat. Give this dude a follow. He is a mainstay here in the Monday Night Online Open Mic. I love having him. I love having him. Next coming up. Now listen, man. I don't need no Tinder when I've got the Monday Night Online Open Mic. And that is how I found the next lady. If we were on Tinder, we would have, what is it, swipe left to like or swipe right? I've never been on Tinder. I don't know. But we would have swiped the way that said there's a mutual attraction, and that is Catherine. But then, Catherine, how are you this evening?
I'm great. What's Tinder? Anyway, I wrote something for the night, and I wrote on a theme.
Yes.
Dark winter nights. The dark, dark night entered the room to take over the light, but the light said, "No, you will not overshadow me. No, you will not. You may think you can run roughshod over me, but au contraire, mais no, no, no." The dark, dark night did not like this and objected vehemently. "Fuck you, light. I own the winter and I can tell you what to do." "Ha ha ha," replied the light. "That's what you think. Just watch me shine. Just watch me shine." But the night had taken over and I found myself slowly walking down a dark street. I stopped by a house which was under a bright street light, and a caramel and white dog approached me, barking. He was friendly, oh yes, but he was also hungry and rather aggressive. He kept jumping on me and moving his front paws as if to beg for food. He scared me, so I moved on, walking down more darkened streets without any visible streetlights. It was eerie and cold, yet strangely familiar. Had I visited this place before, perhaps in my dreams or hallucinations? Then I came upon a tent, a Turkish bazaar, open at this time of night. Suddenly the night turned to day and I was inside a most wonderful world of jewels and trinkets and fabrics and lit candles and fragrant incenses. Oh, the smells, good enough to eat or to wear anyway. And the colors, every color of the rainbow plus a few more, all swirling together in a moist and pleasant hodgepodge of Turkish delight. I asked to buy some kumkum for my forehead, but the man didn't have any. Next, I asked for a hamsa. Did they have any hamsas for sale today? Again, the man said he didn't have any, but they did have an Iranian hamsa version, and that's when I saw the woman. She was magnificent, all bejeweled with a pleasantly rounded body like a soft cushion. She was very well fed indeed. She sat on an even bigger cushion on the floor and was dressed in the most beautiful and amazing gown, all striped velvet with little bells sewn into it everywhere. So she was ringing, and she had rings on her ears and rings on her nose, and her eyes were resplendent with thick black liner. She was glorious, the color of a warm cafe con leche, and her hair was all silken black and wavy, which she had tied up in a small top knot and also flowing down all around her, a 2-for-1 type of deal. You see, but what I was most interesting was that her face shield, for it wasn't just any face shield. It completely covered her head and was made of see-through glass, its shape octagonal and very pleasing, as it went perfectly with the rest of her body. She reminded me a little bit of an Eastern alien. She smiled warmly, asking how I was, as if we'd known each other for ages. When I inquired about a hamsa, she said she had an Iranian one and then pointed to her feet. She was wearing very wide, squared off white burlap slippers with the most beautiful burgundy flower on top of each one. An 8-petaled flower with 4 spokes coming out of the middle, and then the other 2 spokes extending out closer to the top and then 2 at the bottom. I'd never seen a flower quite like it, and I immediately fell in love with it. So I bought myself a pair of very wide squared off white slippers with a very wide squared off shoulder bag to match, and I sauntered out the door feeling so happy, so alive. I felt totally protected in every way. We'll just see about that darkness now, I said to myself. We'll just see. Because just like flipping the light switch in a room, the light always wins, even if it is in the dark, dark night.
Unmute yourselves and give some love to Catherine Bedan.
Oh, Catherine, that was really, really on. I love it. I love the wordplay, the rhythm.
Anyway, hi.
Catherine Bedan, let me unmute her one time so that I love the story everywhere she took it. Catherine, where can the people find you online?
They can find me at catherinebedan.com, and I've got my music link, and I've got my photography link, and my writing link, and all that stuff. Thank you so much for your support. I love being here. You guys rock.
Thank you, Catherine. I love having you here. Catherine Bedan, go give her a follow. Don't follow too hard. That is my lady. So I have to take a quick break in with the open mic. Where'd the New Eureka Poets Cafe go? Or they should be able to oh, okay, here we go. Right here. There we go. Hold on. Let me spotlight you. So for those who don't know, this is Jason Quinones. He works at the New Eureka Poets Cafe. He does a lot of work behind the scenes, and he has the sexiest hair in the game. But right now, Jason's here to make a serious and somber announcement. Go ahead, Jay.
All right, I'm interrupting to you tonight, guys. I'm the general manager of the New Eureka, and I've been involved with the New Eureka since 2010. Unfortunately, it's a somber moment right now. We lost our founder, Miguel Agarin, tonight, who has just passed away. So just wanted to inform all of our poets and take a moment of silence for this man who created this institution. So, just wanted to share that with everyone. Sorry for interrupting. It's a very powerful moment for me in the history of the New Eureka since I've been there. And, I just want to take this moment to inform our community, our poets who support us every day, people like you, to keep his his legacy intact. Miguel is a very powerful person in our community, and we're going to miss him dearly. So thank you for this moment. You can take 30 seconds of silence for Miguel Agarin and wish him the best and have him sleep in power. And thank you for everything.
Thank you, Jason, for letting us know about the passing of Miguel Agrin. He's, you know, the Nuyorican started in his mother's house. If there's a story that goes around the cafe that I like to share about how like everyone talks about the finger snapping and where it started. So there's this story that actually started in Miguel's mother's house, because they would pack the house and there'd be like 40 or 50 people in this like 1-bedroom apartment, and all the neighbors would complain because people would clap after their poem, just how we encourage everyone to do: be obnoxious, be loud, we love it, we love it, we love it. So people would complain and kick them out. So what they had started to try to do was like to still give love to the poet, but not get all the neighbors to complain. Instead of 40 people clapping, they would snap. They would snap. So that's where that that's where that came from. And Miguel was awesome. You know, he's more than just the founder of the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. He had a great spirit about him. He always hit on me every time I saw him. Stop, Miguel. You know, but that's how he was. He hit on everyone, though, right? Like, I'm not trying to give myself props. He hit on everyone, and everyone has their own Miguel impression. You know, he's very distinct. So it's sad to hear the news, and you know, like I said, Jason mentioned, we're here because of something that he started, and the Nuyo, and I don't say this lightly, like the Nuyo saved my life. So Miguel's work saved my life. So rest in power to Miguel Agrin. With that being said, we are going to try to move forward, and we are going to move forward because this is Miguel's work, and this is how he lives on. And we are now going to Colorado to Mr. Michael Sindler. Where is Michael? I don't see him, Mr. Oh, there he is. There he is. He's waving. He's waving. I see you now. Michael, how are you?
I'm doing well, man. I'm really sorry for y'all's pain. Wish I had something to live up to this moment that I could share with you, but I think that's pretty tough, especially for somebody who didn't know him. So I'm just.
And I'm sorry to have you go after this news. I know
somebody
it's not
has to,
you
man.
either.
You know, somebody has to. Might as well be me as anybody else. You know, we're all feeling it. So I'm just going to do a piece based on a painting by Charles Birchfield called The Enchanted Star. The old church could be mistaken for ruins, and yet it still lives. Its stone structure both rising up towards the heavens and bearing down upon the foundational earth from whence its very being was mined and cut and hauled into place. It echoes earlier structures in its design, the Gothic cathedrals of old Europe. But this is an American Gothic, a place of the plains in which plain and unpretentious souls come on Sundays to worship. Its shadows, heavy in the night, under an enchanted star that shines as bright as a beacon to a manger, stretch across the dusty street to cast its image on the general store. Its arches and angles, the round mouth of the bell tower that shouts out the hours with bellowing clangs, alerting farmers and townsfolk alike to the turning time of day and night. Under cloud or clear skies, its weathered exterior gives no clue as to the condition within. Is there incense burning? Are candles making shadows dance across images of saints? Does a beaten, bloody figure look down on all from the altar, not judging or condemning, but pleading for an awakening inside those who sit in rapt attention, wrapped in their Sunday best, and those caught napping after sermons? Left them drowsy, though they struggled with awareness on the hard pine pews, perfumed with polish, bleach, and sweat. Outside, still the star, its rays reminiscent of the cross-bound figure within, makes the stone shine like glowing skin, so white and crenellated, revealing the bone structure of the building, making imposing bulk, transform function, a welcoming, embracing, kneeling mother, holding up the moon, holding up the skies, holding up the star, holding up the sun. And I'm going to try and, geez, man. I'm still just sort of, yeah, I'm going to just, this is actually a lyric, but I'm not going to try and sing it. Not for y'all. Some other place. It's called A Way of Shining Out. Do not give in to anger. Do not give in to pain. Do not give in to fear and risk losing all we've gained. Remember, it's not over. Remember, we can fight. Remember, there are others who can still tell wrong from right. The darkness is upon us, of that I have no doubt. But I still believe the light will find a way of shining out. A way of shining out. Do not give in to lethargy. Do not give in to despair. Through the night, the dove in flight still circles in the air. Remember other ages when everything seemed lost, when souls who stood together persevered despite the cost. Oh, the darkness is upon us. Of that I have no doubt. But I still believe the light will find a way of shining out. A way of shining out. I still believe the light will find a way of shining out. A way of shining out. Okay, thank you very much. And thank you to everybody. Thank you to the New Eurekan. And
thank you, Michael. Thank you. That's very
Make
nice.
some noise for Michael Sindler.
That was
I
very
enjoyed
nice.
it a lot.
Dope.
Thank you, Michael. Let me unmute you real quick. We're still on the low, right?
okay, this is where you can find me, which is absolutely nowhere.
You had me looking at my screen like the colors out. I don't see the letters. What? You had me. That was good, Mike. That was good. That was good. Michael Sindler, appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Yo, he really got me. Did you see? You guys could go watch. Go follow the New Eurekan on Facebook. If you go back, you can watch this video. You see my video. I'm like, what? I can't see the lettering. Oh, that was good. Michael Sindler. He's here every Monday. Love this dude. All right. Next coming up is my wingman, D.G. Claren. Let me unmute him. He's such a giving dude. How are you?
Advocate, how are you tonight?
I'm all right.
I am so sorry for the New Eurekan and Miguel. Next week I'm going to write a poem about Miguel and New Eurekan, and maybe everybody else should also, even though it's open to everything. So just a suggestion. So this is about a long winter and a woman. It's called She. She has lost everything. Her home to the bank, her friends to death, her husband to philandering and lies, her dignity to dementia, her children to distance. She blames others for her mistakes, her bank for not working with her friends for not taking care of themselves, her husband who she knew had affairs, her mind for not cooperating, her children for not caring more. She has become mean to everything. Her finances for not having any. Her friends who are feeble, dying, and dead. Her husband who hides in his Alzheimer's. Her self-respect as she becomes more bitter. Her children as they try to help. She holds on to the last hope. Her pennies, because it's something. her letters, the stories of her past, her husband, her only lover and betrayer, her faith to live forever and to see the dead, her children because they will take care of her. She wants it all back. Her money to buy her status, her friends for their loyalty and trust, her husband because that is all she ever knew, her grace to have a peaceful life and death, her children that she sacrificed and fought for. She is a good woman. Her home was her palace. Her friends were the best. Her husband, a betrayer. Her compassion is great. Her children are her legacy. She. Thank you.
Right. Unmute yourselves and give some love to DG Clearing.
Beautiful poem, man.
Beautiful.
It's a lovely poem, man. Beautiful. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Good stuff.
I love it, and I appreciate the pace and the confidence, and I like when writers trust their words and they don't try to speed through it all the time. I like that. As a reader, we pick up on that. Audience, we pick up on that. Whether we have a trained ear or not, they just do it. So, DG, where can the people find you online?
You know, you can find me if you stay home and be safe and protect others right now. COVID is so rampant right now across the nation and the world. Do your best. And if you don't have to go out, please don't. Be safe, everyone. Say a prayer for Miguel. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That is DG Clearing, always giving his time to others and mention others. I appreciate it. So I know a couple of people have come in late and they're like, what are we talking about here? So we just found out a couple of minutes ago that the founder of the New Eurekan Poets Cafe, Miguel Algarin, passed away. So that's, heavy on the hearts and minds and whatnot. But celebrating his life and the work he did and the work that was built off of his work, like this open mic. So we're still gonna rock, we're still gonna do this, we're still adding to like I said, his legacy. So a couple of you hit me up, said, hey, what happened? So that's what happened. So tonight we turning it into his honor. So my phone's going off, everyone's hitting me up asking me about it. All right, next coming up is not Samantha Park, but Sam Park. How are you, Sam?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm so glad that you're learning that Samantha only comes out when she's drunk. So that's a fun fact about me, but yeah, tonight I have 2 poems for y'all. So I'm gonna get right through it. The first one that we have is going to be Hymn. She is the goddess of earth and creator God in one, calling out to the moon and cueing in the sun, springing purpose into entity before first breaths have begun, regulating life for the short term and the long run. Gaia, the earth mother to whom we should pray, as she is the eternal symbol of natural agape. Though she created earth for mankind in her generous way, she is not one to underestimate or to betray. From the ground we are sprung, and there we shall go to rest, but we live fearlessly, ignorantly contesting death. Who could ever rely on pride to pass such a test as denying the eventuality of a last breath? Afterlife is a mystery, but decay is a fact. With the same certainty, karma is tied to a soul-like contract. Disrespecting Mother Earth and disregarding the impact is a sure way to keep the odds of reaching heaven steeply stacked. To become an evergreen with branches that reach the divine is conditional upon maintaining nature's majestic design. From the soil to the soil, our life is brief but planned. Gaia lives within mankind, but mankind is but a moment of her lifespan. And then the second one that I have today is called Bloodstone. I asked God for love, and then you called. And I guess that's why when I saw your face, I couldn't help but stall the truth that was caught in my throat, swallowing it down like medicine, taking control of these remote memories I wrote on my heart, recounting reminiscence like days when we're apart. Not sure why I feel so much, but can't feel the courage to express my gratitude over how you nourish the wholeness of me that already exists. You put sparkles in my eyes and you loosen up my fists, the chains, my walls, and the pain, grounding me like bloodstone, casting purity and calling rain. Guess what I'm trying to say is I don't feel so alone anymore. And I feel confident you won't take the offer when I show you the door. Lord knows why I fall for who I fall for. You're so new to me, but I feel like I've known you before. Now, I don't often experience deja vu, but there's a reason why I feel like I've seen you, specifically in dreams I've had in the coming months, though back then I was deep in prayer and deeper in the dumps, clutching to my crystals, but it only took once, one night when you came back to me. Some are less superstitious, but even they agree that when I gave you the bloodstone, I was giving you freedom to fly away from me, but you came back because I'm your sense of security. Then you told me that I feel just like a home, making you feel like a king returning to his throne. At the same time, though, I'm a king in my own right, a higher priestess that keeps the secrets of the common night, killing you with kindness, cutting through your spite, and able to read that this divine union was written upon our birthrights. We both saw this truth the first day we were apart, expecting rain, already missing Ray, making sense of surrealist art. You turned me on my heels, but somehow unable to depart. Still, facing you is the hardest part. But at the same time, your eyes could light up the dark. So pardon me if my expression looks a little bit stark. I'm distracted by the prophecy that has just embarked. In reunion now, I feel your heat, comfortably sprawled, time passing by as if distance was never involved, and I realize in silence over a pursuit that's been resolved. I asked God for love, and then you called. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves and give us
Ooh,
some love.
wow.
Sam.
Way to go, Sam.
Thank you.
Right on. Thank you so much.
I love you, Sam.
Really
I'm gonna
good.
try
Very
not to
good.
go along.
I do too. I just
Oh, shoot, we're gonna have to start a Sam Park fan club. Sam, where can the people find you online in your beautiful curation of music?
Thank you. So y'all can find me on Instagram at Zaddy_beats. That's ZADDY_beats. I make playlists there, and I actually just released a collaborative playlist that I made with my friend. It's called Ray of Sunshine, so I hope that can uplift you all. Another side note, Miro is not able to make it tonight, but she asked me to remind y'all about the Love Letters to Gaia project. So submit your work by December 13th to, I believe it's loveletterstogaia@gmail.com. I'll post it in the chat. But I mean, on another note, thank you for sharing the news as hard as it was. I hope that everyone can donate to keep his legacy going. It's such a beautiful, safe space for everyone, and I really appreciate it. It saved me so many times. So thank you, Advocate, for staying strong and hosting, and thank you, everyone, for listening.
Thank you, Sam Park. Make sure you check the chat. She's going to put all her information in there so that you can follow her. Next coming up is a gentleman who I believe this is his first time on the Monday night, but he's usually found around these parts on Thursday night, and that is Luis Pabon, and he is awesome. I've heard his work before. Luis, how are you this evening?
Hey, I'm good, Advocate. How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm glad to see you around these parts on Monday night. I'm excited. I'm sure a lot of people who, have already heard your stuff, but who knows? Maybe some people that don't even know about Thursday night. I'll talk about that afterwards. But go ahead. You rock out, man.
I had two pieces that were planned, but Miguel, he was definitely a powerful figure. And just to hear that, it was like a punch in the gut. So I wrote a piece back in 2014. It's called When a Poet Dies. And so I feel this is appropriate right now. So this is my eulogy to Miguel. When you die, everyone will pretend they knew you well. Will call you by your first name. Will say how much of nothing you have done. They will honor you with their rendition of who you were. Maybe never were. Probably never, ever, not close to being at all. They will plaster photos across newspaper pages, punching each piece of paper with the power of your impact. They will beat you into the memory of everyone who never knew you and exaggerate your eulogy as though somehow they're deep by association, deep based on the strategic alignment of themselves with the depths of your loss, deep like deep is deep. Yeah, baby, that's deep. And everybody will say how much you will be missed. When your words tell the story of you never being gone, and they will recite your life in stanzas and lines, flatter you with pictures of a more beautiful you. From those good old days that held better times, they will frame your crying smile inside of decorative designs and make murals that commemorate the pieces of your life. They will pick you apart for how you helped them, make you into everything you mean to them. Mine your mind one last time before they buy your books just to be closer to you. They will say things like rest in peace, in memory. But peace does not post goodbyes, and memories aren't soon forgotten with the turning of tomorrow's page. They are private joys that do not answer to being staged. When you die, they will never know the secret of you, the scent of your neglect on weekend mornings, the way you hate yourself and the way you take your coffee. The nervous habit you have of laughing to ease the tension and how you always try to fix the undertow of everything. They will say how much you have touched their lives when they only know of you by the inches of your lines. They will say goodbye and honor you with poems that you have already wrote. Unfortunately, every poet will have someone else write their suicide note. They will plagiarize your soul as they inaugurate your memorial song into their bones. They will sing you hard, scream until their lungs break apart. They will call you legendary, as you have planted a timeless legacy into the hearts and minds of many. They will write your obituary in the language of the heart and decipher you outside the confines of the lines your words often escaped from. You will look cool in some poses, others more prominent. As you are dressed in the decadence of your aging elegance, pictures can never do you justice. You will have lived the full life and made sure that no words were spared in the making of your legacy. You will have earned your reputation, a reputation oftentimes exceeded by your own human being. They will call you revolutionary, warrior, king, capable of many things, and never know how hard you work to comb through your stubborn hair before being tied up at some formal engagement from here to there. They will never know how hard you work to hide a burnt kitchen behind a head wrap made of African breezes that blew over your well-traveled body confidently. They will never know you're Rahab's son, Adam's child, Eve's mistake, who dreamed of being more than just honorary degrees given half-heartedly by collegiate fakes. They will paint you in colors you can no longer see. And maybe if you were alive, you would edit their work. It's karmic payback for all the editors who defaced your soul with red ink, not knowing that you had the makings of eternity coursing through the rivers of your veins. You had diamonds in between your thighs and eyes pregnant with a gleam a million visionaries couldn't even see. Many will speculate on your trials, celebrate your triumphs, and commiserate with your traumas. They will never know you as who you really were, but rather as the you they see in themselves. And because of that, you will always be alive, because that is what a poet does when they die. They occupy life and write themselves again in the next generation of poets, leaving behind a mirror that transmits messages using the ink and cold of floating ashes blown away by the change of seasons.
Unmute yourselves. Give this man some energy.
Thank you so much. That
was
was
great. That was
needed.
powerful.
Thank you.
Powerful.
Very powerful. Luis made it's a football term, an audible at the line of scrimmage because of the new information. And I'm not sure what the other poems he had were. I'm sure they were good because I've heard a bunch of them, but I think this was a much needed poem. Luis, thank you so much for like I said, calling that audible at the line and pulling out this poem. It was much needed. Where can the people find you online? Other than the Thursday night online open mic, where can people find you online?
Guys wanna go on Insta? I am on Insta, L Majesty 1.
Awesome. Make sure that you also type it in the chat. You know, some people were lazy, we like to copy and paste. So make sure you put it in the chat. And don't be a stranger on Monday night, okay?
Most def.
Thank you. That's Luis. Like I said, I know that he frequents our Thursday night online open mic. On Mondays, we do just poetry and we have themes. On Thursday, they do music and they do comedy and hip hop and poetry, and there's no theme and all that stuff. And that is hosted by La Bruja, who is such a wonderful human being. I'm gonna definitely have to speak to her after this event because I know she was much closer to Miguel than I was. So again, one more time, Luis, thank you so much. I don't know if you put it in the chat. Put your info in the chat if you didn't. All right, make sure we talking about building community here. Yo, put the info out. Let's follow each other. Next coming up is Mark Thompson. Now, this is not Mark Rom Thompson, who we're used to having. This is a different gentleman, and I think he's calling himself Mr. T. Should I call you Mark Thompson or Mr. T? What do you prefer?
Either works for me. Formally, it would be Mark Mr. T Thompson, but there are a lot of Mark Thompsons out there, which is why the Mr. T got stuck in the first place.
And there's a lot of Mr. T's too. I don't know if you know that. There's a lot of Mr. T's as well.
I know that one. I'm not wearing the gold chains. In the UK, he did a Snickers advert, throwing Snickers bars at people as well. And I'm quite happy to get on a plane full as long as you're paying for the ticket.
I love it, man. You quick-witted. I love it. That means we're gonna enjoy ourselves with your piece. Are you ready to go?
I am. I've got two pieces. One which is neither on the theme, I'm afraid. I'm from London. I wasn't here last week. I had no idea about the theme. But this evening, there's been a lot of talk about loss. And this first one is on that. And it's called With You. You will see me in your peripheral vision from across a seething city street as its waves of anonymous faces swerve, blur, and merge before you. You will see me glimpsed in random patterns from summer's skyborne condensations down to autumn's first fallen leaves. As each of these dances upon their seasonal breeze, you will see me stood or sat in places where I used to be. As if your love for me burnt so brightly, its echo has seared my silhouette softly into your mind's eye. You will see me in a smile, seemingly superimposed on a cousin, a sibling. In their walk, their shrug, their laughter, you'll see mine. You will see me everywhere. As although I will not be there, at least within your memories, I'll always be with you. So that was picking up on the vibe. The last poet was awesome. Mine wasn't about losing a poet, it was about losing those people that are close to you. This one is yeah, I was planning to do this one. Let's see how this goes. It's been redrafted this week. It's called The Last Mic Stand. I bet you've heard a lot of great verses, some well rehearsed and others quite unplanned. But what if that there was the final mic and this was the last mic stand? Would we make a bold statement of silence? Could that pressure all become just too much? One last chance for minds to be blown open, one last heart or soul to be lovingly touched. Would you choose to reflect on great beauty, perhaps attempt to right just one last wrong, tell a tale with fabulous oratory, or sing along with a melodious song? Which unheard voices could we amplify? Which new lessons on this mic would we teach? I guess we'd want it to go down swinging to test just how far we can make this lead reach. Could we use this cord to bind the hands of oppression and save those drowning in seas of despair? Carry one line of hope to the lonely and let the abandoned know we still care. And if by some cable austerity. We do find we've all just been mugged. Those amongst us with the loudest voices could continue with this mic unplugged. You might think this is all too ambitious, but I don't know where this mic's tail will stop, and yet I doubt I can keep up with it long enough to hear that final mic drop. I hope you hear many more great verses, that you will write many more than you planned, sharing them all before your final mic is supported upon your last mic's stand. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves and give some love to
Very
Mark
nice,
Mr.
Mr.
T.
T.
Thompson.
Beautiful piece, Ron.
Welcome back.
Beautiful piece. Thank you so much, Mr.
Thank you.
T.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
Mark T. Thompson. I'm not appreciating Mark right now. You should be able to unmute yourselves. He's rocking the beanie better than me. His eyes are calling to my girlfriend, Catherine. I see Catherine talking all about his eyes and his accent in the chat. What's going on here, man? I'm supposed to be the focal point. Now I'm joking.
Man, what can I say? You know, where I am, your accent would be considered, you know, exotic. But where you are, you know, it's all just about location, right?
I hear you. That means, Mark, you're going to have to start your own open mic so I can come and take your audience. But for
Well,
now,
actually, on that note, I already have my own open mic. I've already shared the link into the chat, being a bit of a professional. I don't actually have one of my books here, but you can buy my book from my website. If you ever find yourself in London, I run a Facebook page called Poetry in London. And the night I run is called Poetry from the Grassroots. The next one's on the 13th of December. For you guys, that's in the afternoon on a Sunday. It's every second Sunday of the month, but our 7:30 in the evening is approximately 2:30 your time. So you know, it works out quite well. Me coming to your gigs is more of a challenge because it's 2:10 in the morning here. So
I appreciate you and I appreciate your neighbors. So make sure you put your info in the chat one more time, okay? For those who missed it. Thank you. Mark Mr. T. Thompson. All right, next time I'm going to turn this video off if I see Catherine saying some, making googly eyes at him in the chat, all right? Don't do it. Okay, next coming up, make sure you go check him out, Mark Mr. T. Thompson, and I'm going to go check out his open mic, all right? So next coming up is The Withdrawn. Let me unmute The Withdrawn. The beard is on point. How are you, brother?
Thank you, man. I'm good, man. I want to send my condolences about Miguel. You know, he'd be so proud still to, you know, the New York's growing, and just thank him for this space, man. It's a lifesaver. It really is. It really is.
Yeah, man. I don't know what the New York is gonna plan. Like I said, we just got this information. I got the information 2 minutes before we made the announcement, so I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm making sure I let everyone know. Nonetheless, we're gonna continue on with Miguel's legacy, and that's with poems. You ready, brother?
I'm ready, man. The theme is Darkest Winter, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. All right. This piece I have is called Holiday Without You. November is here, and December will be soon. All I can think about as I sit up in my room is that this holiday season might be spent without you. I go home and think I gotta save some of that Puerto Rican food because I know you love it. I'll ask that you come to the city and spend Thanksgiving with my family because I know you love them. But I guess this Thanksgiving, instead of continuing to be thankful that you are mine, I'd have to be thankful that we at least happened. Because you've had a bigger impact on me than you probably thought. I know on that day I'll probably get all my feelings caught, but I'll be okay. Last year, for the first time, you came with me to buy my own Christmas tree. While we got people too into their pride, hiding their excitement and trying to be a man, you told me you love how into the holiday spirit I am. This time around, my tree will probably be filled with fake presents as I don't get to feel my babe's presence physically and spiritually. We were planning on movies and cookies because last year didn't work. And I'd have you make them because sometimes mine come out burnt. I would have the playlist all set for the holiday welcome, with this year adding in John Legend's new Christmas album. You and I, as the snow falls, with your cats in the Santa hats trying to take pictures before they run along. You helping me with decoration placement because I'm indecisive, and if it was up to me, I spend hours fixing my ornaments perfectly on the tree. We might be hesitant to even tell each other Merry Christmas, although we ended on positive terms. After reading this, you might realize how much you're going to miss this. But if we end up reconnecting after this season, then we'll hopefully have the next one to await. I remember a few years ago when you came over for New Year's, and you loved how different it felt to be there. Usually we called each other, but this time you took the 8-hour ride to the city. You got to hear my grandmother yell, "I made it!" but also hear how she thinks she won't make it for the next. I've always loved the thought of another year with you, because I knew we'd have so much to look forward to. Last year, we spent it at a friend's. On January 1st, we were able to spend the night kissing again. This season, I was going to wait to buy my ticket, to ask if you would come to the city with me and spend it. Then a week later, we ended. I hate the thought of entering into 2019 without you by my side. But who knows? As I've learned, every year is filled with a surprise. If that surprise doesn't come by 2018, I still have the following one to anticipate. Being ready for each other cannot be rushed. And so with time, we will work on our individual selves for us. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give some love to
Wow.
the
Withdrawn.
Thank you.
Incredible. So sensitive, big boy. Yeah.
Next.
They love the sensitive withdrawn. He's a wild card. We never know what we're gonna get with him, man. We never know. So like when he hits us with the soft stuff, we're not ready for all the mush. The withdrawn, where can we find you online, brother?
Thank you. You can find me at The Withdrawn on Instagram and thewithdrawn.com. Also, as Sam was saying, please submit to Love Letters to Gaia. We have extended the deadline to December 13th, and we're hungry for your submissions. So keep them rolling in. Thank you guys so much. Much love.
Awesome. That is The Withdrawn. Make sure you check him out at The Withdrawn and thewithdrawn.com. Next up, we have a name that I haven't seen. I think this is going to be their first time here on the Monday Night Online Open Mic, and I hope I say the name right, and they can correct me. Is it Kalium Kennedy? Let's unmute Ken.
It's Khalid Kennedy, but it's all right. Everybody gets it wrong.
I'm so sorry. Say it one more time. I want to make sure I get it right.
Kaleem Kennedy. I'm sorry.
Kaleem Kennedy. Kaleem.
Can I just take this time to say that this anticipation, hearing everybody's poem and piece, it's scaring the shit out of me because I don't think that I can top any of you guys, but I can try.
No need to be nervous. It's just recorded and put on the internet forever, and thousands of people will see it. So you're good.
This is my first slam poetry. I never read any of my pieces out loud, so yeah, you're right. Let's just take this slow.
Love it, love it. All right, I'm gonna mute myself, and the stage is yours.
So I have two pieces for you guys today. One is called The Monster in Me, and the other one is called Homicide. This one is The Monster in Me. The Monster in Me. I swore it'll all be okay. Just lay your head down and pray. Old Nick laughing, standing in my shadow screaming. Cheek grinning, fingers aching, his eyes bleeding. 6 feet under and he's still scheming. Laughing at my pain and mocking my freedom. Looking back in the mirror, realizing I'm my own demon. Pinch myself because I might be fucking dreaming. The devil is looking back at me and I can't believe what I'm seeing. You swore it'll all be okay. Told me to lay my head down and pray. Because as night rose into day, the nightmares are supposed to poof, vanish, and go away. So hear me out because it could all go astray. I'm my own monster and the monster is me. I'm at my worst as worst can be. Mentally locked away far beyond what the eyes can see. At a place where my soul won't be set free. In a world where finding my purpose is the key. If I'm finding my purpose is the lock while I'm searching for the key. So might as well lay your head down and pray. Because as these nightmares are forever, these terrors are here to stay. I'm laughing, living in my own shadow screaming. Cheeks grinning, fingers aching with my eyes bleeding. I'll be 6 feet under, still plotting and scheming. Laughing with my pain and taking my own freedom. Looking back in the mirror, realizing to never fear what I'm seeing. Hug myself because this is what I believe in. The devil stares back at me, and for the first time, I'm agreeing. Khalid Kennedy. My second one is called, sorry, let me pull it up for you.
It's called Homicide. Ooh, sorry, that won't take too long. Homicide. The concerns for me are too great. Cannot care for a person who breaks down love and recycles it into hate. Don't worry, I'm already dead. Kaleem stood his wrist, hung himself, and already put two in his head. But I'm still here and very much alive. Just call it a mental homicide. I'm going back and forth when my thoughts collide, learning to keep myself whole while I'm also fighting to break out from inside. I want to rip out your eyes and dance in your shoes while I fantasize. I want to wear your face and experience your lies. Just call it a mental homicide. Just let go, allow me to take control. Sit back and let your thoughts flow. The craving of ending it all in a single blow. You are mine and you are me. I'm married to you, so listen while I get on one knee. I hate you and despise the person you ever wanted to be. A ruthless bastard who is ever too blind to see. I want you dead. Will you marry me? The concerns for me are too great. Cannot care for a person who recycles his hate. Don't worry, I'm already dead. That's something I repeated, something I've already said. Let's just call it a mental homicide. Yours truly.
Unmute yourselves and give some love to Khalid.
Wow.
Into the fans.
Definitely
You
fine.
got
Twerk.
you got the
Peace,
two
peace,
You got
young
the two
king.
nights.
Kaleem Kennedy. I'm not really good at this. I hope you guys like it. I hope it's okay. Now here's some dark and heavy shit that's gonna stay in your mind all night. Kaleem Kennedy, you
Thank
did
you.
fantastic.
Thank you. I
Fantastic.
appreciate it.
I think you need a hug though. But you did
Yeah,
fantastic.
because I'm shaking right now. Whoa.
I'm all for tormented artists, and I felt like this, like it was very dark and cold. Even though there was warmth in it, I felt like it was still dark and cold. The people want you to come back. Don't be a stranger. Where can they find you online?
On Instagram, it's Kaleem, 2 M's underscore. So KAHLIEM_. Sorry.
Awesome. Oh, we just lost your video feed, but we can still hear you. Kaleem, make sure when you get a chance, please put that information into the chat so the people can see it, copy and paste and give you a follow. Kaleem Kennedy, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Loving it, man. Loving it. Kaleem Kennedy. All you people, right? Not just Kaleem, a bunch of people like, oh, it's not really good. I hope you like it. And then you hit us with something powerful, man. You're not fooling me. I've been doing this for a long time. Plus, I saw the hat. I saw the jewelry game. I was like, nah, Kaleem's going to bring it. You ain't fooling me. All right. Andy Markert is next. Oh, what? I just skipped him. There he goes. Andy, before you begin, we all want to know.
Yes.
What did Dad say about last week? Did he watch it?
You know what? I let it sit, and I'm kind of waiting for him to say something to me, but he hasn't yet. So we're just in that like man standoff of like, I'm not going to talk about my feelings. You're going to talk about your feelings, and I'm not going to talk about my feelings. Let's talk about I don't know, the car. We'll talk about the car.
I hear you.
We're waiting it out, and eventually, I think this weekend I'm just gonna break down and be like, "Did you watch the fucking thing or not?" And he'll probably be like, "No, I didn't." But he's watched it 10,000 times.
All right. I got you. That's fair. I just
That's
hope he saw this. I hope he knows that you got a whole community saying hello to him, and we're hoping to get video of the tears in his eyes as he listens to your poem because it was a fantastic
One can only
poem.
hope. If we can get video of that, that would be a first.
No doubt. All right, I'm gonna mute myself. I'm gonna let you get into it. Go ahead, Andy.
All right, I got some new shit, so we'll just wing it. Called That Wild Glowing Love. I'm standing on the edge of a cliff, looking out along a blue-gray sea, the sound of rolling wave against a rock, that music of slow destruction, an effortless melting playing out against the rocks below as the water carves the initials of its longing against the surface of cold stone. I've been here before, or maybe I've never left it. Dancing on the precipice of a cliff, sipping tea, my mind a twirling dervish, spinning always on the edge of a pin, palms upward towards a sky unknown, makes places feel like home that I've never seen before. Or maybe I'm just dreaming, watching that sun sink to meet the horizon, setting ablaze the clouds colored bright orange and red, igniting the dimming sky in a passion, that wild glowing love. No two the same. How completely must the sun love that horizon? How for a few moments at the beginning and the end of a day, it must feel to be on fire, to meet and melt and hold the explosion of all life, gently slipping through the grasp of arms to disappear, giving way to a dark sky pinpricked with the memory of that same love playing out across the universe, before returning, taking an adventure I cannot see, melting dark sky to bright blue as the horizon hands its lover back to the sky. Thank you.
Ooh.
Give it up for Andy
Oh,
Markhurt.
Andy, that was dopity dope. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Really dope.
Oh my
Andy
God.
Markhurt, a mainstay here at Monday Night Online Open Mic. He induces, oh my God, out of people who listen to him. We caught you right there, Sam. Love it. I love Sam. Gives so much energy. All right, Andy, where can the people follow you online?
You can find me at Andy Meerkat with 2 T's. I'll chuck that in the chat. Also, real quick, guys, please submit to the Love Letters to Gaia. I'll throw that email in there too. We want your pieces. And finally, that had nothing to do with my dad. There we go. All right, good night, everybody.
Andy Markhurt. Hello, Mr. Markhurt, if you're watching. That poem had nothing to do with you, so don't feel special today. You can actually talk to Andy about this poem the next time you see him. Okay, next coming up is Trisha De Jesus. Let me unmute Trisha.
Good evening.
Good evening, Trisha. How are you?
Doing good.
Doing good. We're into the voyeurism again tonight. No red curtain. We're wanting you to see everything we're doing. I love it. I love it.
The red curtain's been retired.
Got you. Okay. So you ready to get into it?
Yes, but before I do, I just wanted to say that we have to remember that Miguel was a Nuyo father, and so we are all his poetic children. And every poem that we do going forward is kind of like a candle lit in his honor. So this poem is a tiny one. I'm liking the tiny ones lately, huh? I call it Night Terror, and it's actually based on me looking at and finding and being really excited about Fuseli's The Nightmare. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that painting. I wish I had found it so I could screen share it with you guys. So this is called Night Terror. I remember my slow procession through snowdrifts, heavy whipping cream thick. I remember my footfalls being lost sounds before my ears could collect them. You were the crimson of exclamation standing still in a land where we, orphaned by thought itself, could both pass a single night unnoticed. You were a notion. You must have been. Born of my disorientation and the ice that crisped my brows and lashes, I worked my way out of this stupor. I was fading and holding on to you, then you dissolved from sight. I knew you were delirium. I dreamed of you last night. You wore this same dress, this bright gash of Chantilly blood outlining the tapestry. Only the weak light, the room itself, was leaching your gown of its life and bleeding it into the furniture, the floor, creeping up the ceiling, onto the walls, until you were part of this place. You knew each other's secrets and called to one another, familiar, intimately, like lovers. Until your shift, your tender skin were purified like the snow where you first found me. I was astonished how the sight of you unguarded, a lovely corpse, a fine bone propitiation gripped me, how it summoned up my arousal. I was jealous of this room and how it claimed you and left you nothing to call your own. I was fascinated how you now allowed yourself to be woven into the legend, like the maidens who murmured a litany of little deaths in their dream state, content to be stared at in their glass coffins. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves and give some love to Trisha.
Wow, Trisha, that was beautiful. Thank you so much.
Oh, Trisha.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Summoned up my arousal. Wow. Summoned up my arousal.
Trisha De Jesus, she's getting the people going. I love Trisha. She knows her poetry. Trisha, where can the people find you online?
Instagram, Finn_Bell, PHYNNE_BELE. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Trisha. Make sure you put that information into the chat. Trisha De Jesus. I love her poetry, man. And the first time I recognized her, she was talking about someone else's poem and she was breaking it down. That's why I was like, oh, this woman knows her work, and she does. Okay, next coming up is someone new, or at least a name that I haven't seen before, and that is Paul Butterfield. Now, I don't know if that's supposed to be junior or not. Is it?
Yeah, that is.
Okay. Sorry.
Sorry.
My apologies to your father, because you're the junior. Got to recognize it. Paul Butterfield Jr. How are you today, brother?
I'm good. I actually traveled over to Ian's guys 3 years ago just to perform at the open mic on Monday for 5 minutes, all the way from Ireland.
What? Wait. Are you in Ireland now?
Yeah.
Well, I think this is the first time we've had Ireland on the Monday night online open mic. You are representing for your entire country. Your entire country is going to watch this tomorrow. Okay. No pressure.
Yeah.
All right.
I've picked 4 very small poems to do tonight, trying to stick to the winter theme. I didn't know that it was winter theme until late last night when I signed up, so I kind of typed in like winter and snow and cold and trying to gather a few poems. And I'm sending my love to all Ians as well. This first one's called Waiting in the Cold. When you look at the obstacle, it looks big, huge, colossal, but the heart knows no size. No matter how cold, wet, windy it may be, you will want to learn and be ideal, learning from every dead heartbeat, and soon it will be ready for you. Wait for it, like a man smoking on a cigarette in the cold. This next one is called Wasted Art. It's not about receiving a mountain of cash, like living in a kingdom. It is not about being famous, like the set moon. You must share it, like you were the last leaf on the tree on a winter's night. It would be a shame if it was wasted art. This third one is called Win Some, Lose a Lot. Sometimes in this underground shit with life and art, you will win with someone and something for a while. Then you will lose again. Some will eventually win all the time, but some of us aren't that lucky. The key is to keep moving like a fiery kiss. Take what you can, like grabbing the last snowflake in winter. And this final one that I'm doing tonight is called 1,000 Cigarettes Until Spring. The aim is to be great at love, never getting sick of the back of her head while you do her from behind. The aim is to be a great poet, never getting sick of saying, I give up, every night before you drop to sleep. You have to work for it, as tough as a young man's chin. It will not and cannot be handed to you. Even a child has to earn a sweet. It is as simple and as long as planting a rose in winter while smoking 1,000 cigarettes until spring in order to see it bloom and flourish. Thank you very much.
Unmute yourself. Give some love to Paul Butterfield.
Oh man. Hey, come back here, Papa.
Dope,
Great to hear you.
dope.
Yeah.
Paul Butterfield Jr. Loved it, man. Enjoying the accents. I know the people are enjoying the accents. Paul, make sure that you go and you read the chat after we discuss. But where can the people find you online?
Just the usual places. Facebook is just Paul Butterfield Jr. spelled JNR. Instagram is PBJ Poet. You can find me on SoundCloud as well under PBJ Poet as well, on YouTube as PBJ Poet too. If you want to, whatever, I don't mind. I don't care. I'm just here to share. It's just a lot of fun, especially at 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I'm about to say it's like 3 or 4 in the morning for you, right?
Yeah, it's 2:30 in the morning, and it's the 1st of December over here, and you guys are still in the 30th of November.
Yeah. You ahead. You in the future. Make sure you put your information in the chat so the people can follow you as well. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul. Paul Butterfield Jr. Do not be a stranger, Paul. Make sure you come back. A bunch of people were putting that in the chat as well. We are going to be selfish and ask you to forego sleep to come hang out with us. Paul Butterfield Jr. Next coming up is the professor, Mr. Tesosomok. Mr. Tesosomok, how are you this evening?
I'm good. And you?
Good. I'm good. I'm ready to be taken to school with a story. I'm assuming that's what's coming.
I have 2 short stories.
Awesome.
So one is on the theme for tonight, titled "The Darkest Hour." If history torments, Hannibal, the Carthaginian general, traumatized Rome for over 2,000 years. Hannibal, the fox, sharp as eagle's talons, made Rome bleed 300,000 strong, spilled the blood of all on his way. Such were the days of maneuver warfare, the days of Saguntum, Capua, Croton, Cannae, and Sama. If Publius Cornelius Scipio Africanus was a reaction to Hannibal's success, Scipio would never unhinge the albatross about his neck. Hannibal Barca, who died in the catacombs of Bithynia. Hannibal's darkest hour. Let us, he said, relieve the Romans from the anxiety they have so long experienced, since they think it tries their patience too much to wait for an old man's death. Libby. If 1521, August 13, was Cuauhtemoc's darkest hour against the Spaniards, and 1876, June 17, when Crazy Horse took down Custer, whose darkest hour? Who amongst us can confront our darkest hours, confront the event to its limit, uncastrated, keep from cowering from the terror of indecision? Whom amongst us can give up the comfort of complacency and the continual care and management from the socius? Whom amongst us can confront our darkest hour? And the second piece is a short story, Yerba Buena, fresh cut mint. Come, said the soft voice, walk with me. I held my grandfather's hand, ancient oaks, red clay through the calluses on his hand, the smell of sweat from long days in the fields. He said, I lost my friend Octavio in the Cristero War. I had to leave him behind. I said, hang on to me, but he was in pain and he begged me to let him die. I had to leave him behind. There by the gulch, he pointed. I was distracted by the sunset. I wanted to sit on my grandfather's lap, but he was sad with the look of man too far away from God and too close to mezcal. He said, looking away, I was relieved to find a cross in the Yerba Buena patch. I knew I would never see him. I knew he had gone to God. He turned to me and said, I will one day die and you'll bring me fresh mint, won't you? I didn't understand. I hugged him, told him not to die. I'm 26. I miss the smell of sweat, the brittleness of shattered red clay, the smell of the burning oak. And today I deliver fresh smelling fragrance of freshly cut spearmint in my grandfather's grave. And I yearn to sit on his lap in reassurance of my sadness.
Unmute yourselves and give some love to Mr. Tessa
Yeah.
Tessa,
Right.
thank you.
Here's
Beautiful
always.
poem.
Always have such
Tessa.
incredible stories. It's so appreciated.
Good poetry.
They love you. They love you, Mr. T. Can't call you Mr. T. We got a new Mr. T already, but we're going to call Mr. Tessa Somok. Tessa Somok, where can the people find you online? Oh, we can't hear you. You're still muted. You're still muted.
I said I'm the OG, man, South Central, man. This is no UK shit. All right. People can find me at Gaseous 2019, and I appreciate everybody's feedback. And thank you for letting me share these interesting stories.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Tessa Somok, make sure you put your information into the chat so that people can follow. Next coming up is Nick Paleologos, the man who it took me a month to be able to say his name right, and I'm happy he stuck around so I didn't waste that month. Nick, how are you this evening?
I'm doing well, Advocate, but I believe you had dubbed me as Ick Paleologos and Nick Paleologos, so it's okay. It's all right.
I changed Jeff Cottrell to F. Cottrell, and tonight you're going to be Ick Paleologos. So go ahead, Ick. We're ready to hear it.
All right, this one's going to be a bit raw and emotional. Say the poet is the best one's a tormented one. I'm going to open up with a little bit of lyrics in honor of Miguel. The lyrics are from a song called Fiction by A7X, and then we're going to write to the poem called Snow Angel. I hope it's worth it, what's left behind me, yeah. I know you'll find your own way when I'm not with you. So tell everybody, the ones who walk beside me, yeah. I know you'll find your own way when I'm not with you tonight. Never forget the 4th of March. Death has a way of finding everything around me and touching those that I love the most. That was the day I lost someone who made an impact on not only my life, but to everyone around. You made us laugh throughout my life, and you made us cry on that day. You were like my dad, even though we weren't bound with the bloodlines. You gave us advice, you chuckled at our antics. You knew we were good kids. And I questioned myself that day. What could I have done differently? Could I have prevented this? And for years, I tried to drown out the memory. Didn't work. Became a memoir. It took me a while to finally learn the lesson that the pain we all felt that day would be the same pain if I were to have done it. The funeral brought snow, and I believe you were trying to tell us something. It looked muffled in the messy mini blizzard it was. I got it though. I understood from when we left the church to your final resting spot the next town over. The only sight of beauty was the trees and the branches covered in snow. I lost my ability to enjoy winter. Snow reminded me of that day, and it took me a while to have closure. It will be 8 years this March. If only you could see me now. Come home, I pled. If only it were so simple. I had to say goodbye and not follow you. That was my darkest winter. And that darkness still follows each cold season. The only candle of hope that shines on dark nights is that I know that you found penance. Peace.
Unmute yourselves and give some energy to Nick Paleologos.
Dope.
Nice, Nick.
Much love, Nick.
Thank you, Nick.
Here for you, brother. Thank you for that.
That was a hard one.
Nick Paleologos, let me unmute him. March 4th, 1992. I lost my grandmother. It's the very first time in my life I had lost someone I loved. So when you said March 4th, it was like hair stood up on the back of my neck. Nick, where can the people find you online?
You can find me at The Real Nick P on Instagram, and also please submit your poetry to Love Letters to Gaia. We're looking forward to more work and looking forward to more poetry tonight. Everyone, please stay safe and have a great night. Thank you.
Nick Paleologos. Nick, make sure you put your information into the chat. And it looks like Nick is probably going to have a better winter than me, because in the beginning of the fall, it looked like my Bears were going to the playoffs and his Giants were going home early. Now his Giants may make the playoffs, and my Bears have just stopped playing football. But we're going to keep moving on. We're going to Catman Bill. This is the dude. Usually he's on Thursday nights. I love seeing him. I'm glad he's on Monday. Am I calling you Bill Katz or Catman Bill?
Just Catman Bill.
Catman Bill, brother, it's good to see you on a Monday night. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. This is my first, actually, and so I'll get right into it. I have three brief poems. The first one is called Interlude with a Turtle. A run through Cedar Hill Cemetery this early Saturday morning in June becomes a walk after a snapping turtle approaches the roadside gate. I pick her up, assuming it's a female, and that she'll reproduce and name one of her offspring after me. I carry her to a remote pond. She resists for a moment. I tell her that not all of my species are destructive and uncaring, but that most of us are. She pees on my leg. I thank her for that honor, and I refuse to bathe that day. I want this turtle gift of pee to remain with me after we part. We reach our destination at the far end of a pond deep inside the grounds. I tap on her shell 3 times and wish her a long and happy life. I give her a hearty send-off back into her water world. Next, thank you. Next poem is called Woman from Arizona. She insists on showing me your gun, but not after removing a bullet from the chamber, over a dinner of pizza and Merlot. Susan is a proud libertarian. She explains that 18 million well-armed citizens can never lose against the overreach of an anti-government destined to oppress the people and seize our weapons. Let them try and take away our gun, take our guns away. She bites into another pepperoni slice. The gun is neatly stored in a cotton bag. It's a 9mm Browning semi-automatic, and it helps her sleep better in her gated community behind reinforced doors. Do you mind, I ask, if I could inspect the gun? Susan hands it to me, and I feel the weight, the implicit urge for violence in its snub nose. Here, I am a guest in her home, but this night I sleep lightly. Coyotes howl outside in the distance on this parched Sonoran desert. And thank you. Last is, I'm back in Cedar Hill. The woodlands are alive. After dusk, the woods are alive this July 4th, as I take an evening stroll through the land of the dead in Cedar Hill Cemetery. The deer dart and zigzag into geometric chaos. Their only spastic need is to escape. Boom, boom, bam. Birds high above jump from the safety of tree nests and fly in circles. Ooh and ah, the neighbors moan and watch from nearby verandas. Bam, bam, boom. Go Roman candles and rockets red glare, now made in Asia and designed to keep we the deluded, but feeling happy and free. While here, the woodlands are filled with terrified wildlife seeking a peaceful repose in their disruptive homes this very night.
Unmute yourselves and give some love to Catman Bill.
Wow. Amazing Catman. Amazing Catman.
Dope. Love it.
Good job.
Catman Bill coming to hang out with us on Monday night. Usually he's on a Thursday night online open mic, tearing it up over there. I'm glad that he decided to join us tonight. Catman Bill, where can the people find you online?
Hardly, but you know, I'm more of a musician with my songs on YouTube, and I still, after years and years using YouTube, I still don't understand. I have a channel, and it's Bill Katz, Hartford, Connecticut, and I guess you could then open up about 20 of my songs. But that's all for now.
Awesome. Catman Bill, thank you so much for joining us. Don't be a stranger on Monday. And of course, I'm sure I'm going to see you on a Thursday sometime soon.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Catman Bill. I have never heard a poem about turtle urine, but I enjoyed it. There's a first for everything. I enjoyed it. All right. Next coming up is the woman who looks at the world through rosy red glasses, and that is Kai Brackens. And I don't see Kai. I don't see Kai. Kai Brackens going once, going twice. No, I don't see Kai. I see Gwen C, who I haven't seen in a while. Shout out to Gwen C. I see Melinda Coles. I don't think I've ever seen Melinda Coles here. Hi, Melinda. Glissette is back. Hi, Glissette. Okay, yep, I don't see Kai. And oh, I want to say this name. She already knows I'm trying to say her name. She's like, oh, I can see he's trying. Idiono? Did I say it right? No, I didn't. She's like, nah, brother, you didn't. All right. Later on, we're going to speak to her so I can make sure to say her name right. All right. Kai and Max aren't here. That means Patrice Melnick is here. And I know Patrice is new to these parts. Where is Patrice? I saw Patrice. There. Yep. I see her. She's waving. Don't forget me, Patrice. Good evening. Where are you located?
Louisiana.
Louisiana, awesome. Louisiana Slugger, I love me some baseball. How are you this evening?
I'm great, and I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. I've been seeing you lighting it up in the chat, typing away, so I'm ready to hear your poetry. You ready to get into it?
Yeah, I want to do some shameless self-promotion. So I have a book out called City of Hey Baby. It's about New Orleans, and I'm going to read a poem from that book. All right. This is called Dead Woman Winter. Button found a dead body this morning, a homeless woman. He said he had met her before, a midget, someone you would remember. I don't know Button's real name, like we haven't worked together long enough. And he doesn't know my nickname, like we haven't worked together long enough. I don't know what that feels like, to go from fretting about small things like dry rough hands from the cold air to actually dying outside on the ground behind the fire station. People in the city passing on foot or in cars, and they don't know that a shelterless woman lies dying on the street with no rescue in sight. All doors stay locked and electricity flickers on and off. Today, a child woman came to work for us. She said she just got engaged. At 19 years old, she must complete 43 hours of public service for her crime. She said she did something really bad, but won't say what. And I don't ask. She is writing letters to someone in jail, but not the one she just got engaged to, who she says her mother hates. Her boyfriend, fiance, she is forbidden to see, will take care of her, she chirps. Though right now he lives with his parents. We find windows for her to wash and floors to sweep. We don't want her to work outside in the killer cold, this tough and vulnerable girl woman. Perched in a chair, she babbles, wants to show me pictures on her phone of her boyfriend, but I won't look. I pass to her a paper and clipboard, tell her to list the things she wanted to be since a little girl. She litters the paper with longing. Veterinarian, police officer, nurse, babysitter. I wonder how she went from a baby girl with dreams to a woman who just wants to be cared for blankly. I tell her to pick 2 careers and write the steps to get there. To her, I'm a torn book, discarded bifocals. I don't want her to become the shunned girlfriend, a divorcee, a lost wife, a roaming woman wandering behind a fire station on a bitter night, all doors shut tight as the unpredictable winds slip beneath her coat. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give it
Nice,
up for
nice.
Patrice.
Nice.
Very nice.
Amazing.
Patrice Melnick. Oh, I lost Patrice on my screen. Wait, I got it. Patrice Melnick, and be all about the shameless plug it. We're independent artists here, and we want to build community. Tell everyone what you were doing. Of course, we can't use the whole open mic, but tell everyone what you're doing. So, Patrice, where can the people find you online?
I'll put it in the chat, but patricemelnick.com or Facebook, Patrice Melnick.
Awesome. Thank you, Patrice. Please do not be a stranger. Patrice Melnick representing Louisiana. Next, coming up, we're going out to India with Unmesh Mohitkar. Now, we have some people in Ireland and England who are staying up late to be part of this. And then we have some people who are getting up real early in the morning to do this. Wait, where is Unmesh? Oh, there he is. I see him. And Unmesh is one of the people who has to get up real early in the morning to be with us. Unmesh, how are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm good, Advocate. And first of all, my condolences. And though Miguel is not there, but his legacy will be there for all of us, for the whole of the world. I think that is an achievement. So let me start with the poem. It's Hindi and English. Nowadays, this is what I do. Intezar itna bhi kya. इंतजार इतना भी क्या कि जिंदगी इंतजार बन जाए मौत से इतना भी डर क्या कि जिंदगी मौत बन जाए why to wait so much that life becomes a wait why to fear so much of death that life becomes a death सब्र और इंतजार में फर्क है सब्र और इंतजार में फर्क है जिंदा रहने में और जीने में फर्क है ऐसे जियो जिंदगी वक्त आने पर मौत दोस्त बन जाए there is difference between patience and waiting there is difference between living and being alive live life in such a way that when time comes death becomes a friend हर मौत पे मौत खड़ी हर मोड़ पे मौत खड़ी ऐसे जियो की रास्ते में कई दोस्त बन जाए death stands on every turn live in such a way that many friends are standing on the way named after you इंतजार इतना भी क्या कि जिंदगी इंतजार बन जाए that was the first one. I've got few smaller ones. They drifted afar, still they were connected by wind, earth, sky, sun, moon. That was the first one. Second one was he knows how to galvanize everyone. He died searching for inspiration, motivation, life. The second one. Third one was they punch him to near death. Finally, he realizes that he was alive. And there is one short poem. I will make it quicker. Left in the lurch by everyone. To die, suffer. Time passed. He survived. Stronger like a weathered tree. Aged like a delicious wine. Fire in his eyes. Tender like the fireplace warmth. The joke is on them. In despair, they suffered his peace, his love. Scared, again they left him. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Unmute yourself. Give
Oh
some
man,
love.
thank you so much.
Oh, good.
Talk to me in that language, baby.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
Umesh Mohitkar, I love it when we have our poets speak in more than one language. Anyone listening, if you are wondering if you could do that, you can so do that. That is not just special permission for Umesh, even though we love him, gets up so early for us. Umesh, where can the people find you online?
Yeah, thanks, Advocate. It's Unmesh Mohitkar at Instagram, Mohitkar Unmesh at Twitter. And thanks a lot. You've been a great audience and you're a great artist as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Unmesh Mohitkar. Make sure you put that information into the chat as well, Unmesh. Shout out to my brother Chance, who just logged on, and shout out to his daughter who turned 8 today. Yeah, she's so pretty. Are you sure you're the father, bro? She's too pretty for you to be the father. All right, that's my boy Chance. I love him. Those of you who know Chance, he is my favorite troll. He loves to come and troll me. And Kai Brackens, I see you. I will circle back around to you. Next up is Matthew Merriquin, but I don't see Matthew. Matthew, if you're here, hit me up because I do not see you, which means we're going to move ahead to Gigi. Now, when we have our big party, Gigi's going to cut everyone's hair and we're going to look fly as hell. Ooh, I hit the wrong button. Wait, let me try one more time. Hold on. Wait, you went quiet again. Wait, let me unmute you. It's not your fault, Gigi. It's me. Try it now.
Can you hear me?
There we go.
Hello.
We hear you. How are you,
Good.
Gigi?
I'm doing good. It's finals week, so you know.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
just
so
living life.
you're good. I get it. I love it, and I love the fact that you stand up and perform your poems. I feel like I'm at a real open mic. Go ahead, girl. Get into it.
All right, so I got 2 poems. The first one's called Winter Came in March, and the second one is called The Winter Unwelcome. All right. Winter came in March, sheltered ourselves in, held loved ones close, wished we could see spring. Winter came in March, stayed through the summer. Air felt colder to him. Permafrost seeped into his mind as he forgot things. The human life cycles like seasons, phases, and phrases. People die more in the winter made me feel hopeful. Made me feel hopeful that we would have until fall, that we would have more holidays. I didn't know that winter would come to us. Winter came on August on the 2nd at 3 o'clock, and the room felt cold, devoid of a life. It felt cold enough to snow. As the air gets crisper, as this year draws to an end, I no longer need to wear a jacket. My darkest winter, it came so suddenly before the summer ended. And the second one is called A Winter Unwelcomed. The Farmer's Almanac did not predict a year-long winter. The winter of humanity, a winter like no other, stayed almost a year. Came in March, lingered too long, plagues like blizzard, unable to shovel ourselves out. Warned us to stay in our houses, gave us warnings as to why we should not hold our loved ones close, frostbitten faces, unable to breathe air freely. Without coverings, the darkest winter, it stayed too long, frostbitten lungs. I am waiting for spring to come, knowing that when the snow settles, the flowers that bloom are markers of graves of those who never got to see next spring. Thank you.
Unmute yourself and give some energy to Gigi.
Wow.
Oh, Gigi. Very nice.
Dope.
Yeah.
Those are good words. Markers of spring.
Dope.
Thank you, Gigi. I know especially that first poem was a little extra tough. I know. Oh, wait. Hold on. Who didn't get muted? Okay. I think everyone's
Yeah, no, I'm
muted
here.
now. Okay, cool. I think someone else didn't get muted for some reason. That's what I was checking. But yes, I appreciate your vulnerability, and like I put in the chat, I'm so happy that you are back with us. Gigi, where can the people find you?
So you can find me on Instagram at iron_resilience. I'm trying to post more of my poetry. And then you can also see my hair at hair_by_JIJI because I am a hairdresser. And I hope that as the seasons draw that everyone has a safe holiday. I'm really sorry to hear about Miguel. And then submit your poems to the Love Letters for Gaia. Have a really good night, everyone.
Thank you, Gigi. Gigi, make sure you put your information into the chat. Real quick, want to give some shout outs. Shout out to Diane Ward. I see she's not in the list, but she's checking us out. Always lovely to see her face. And I mean that in a platonic way. I don't want her husband to kill me. Just found out she had a husband. Shout out to Lynn Lane. He is a real artist. You need to check this dude out, man. Check out Lynn Lane Photography on Instagram. Shout out to Luciana, who's always checking in with us. And in 2 weeks, she said that she's going to be on the open mic. She's working towards it. She's out in Brazil learning English. She got something for us. And Idonia, no, I'm saying it wrong, right? No, I'm saying it wrong. I'm not even gonna try to say it. We'll come back to her. Who else is joining us that's not on the open mic list? Jasmine Ortiz. Jasmine tried to sign up last night. I don't know what happened. Sign up begins at 8 o'clock. Artist RSVP. Make sure you get that ticket, whoever it is. I've known Jasmine for a long time, back in the day when I had hiphoppoetry.com. That's a long story, but I'm happy to see her here. She's going to join us. Timothy Belgrave, who always checks in. Peace, brother. Thank you for checking us out. Mark Thompson, right? The original Mark Thompson we have here, although we're already loving the other Mark, Mr. T. Thompson. Mark Thompson checking us out as well. Glad to have you here. And Gwen C., who's on the waiting list. Not sure if we're going to get to her, but I want to shout her out just in case we're unable to, though we're going to try. Next up is Lawrence Chan. We haven't seen Lawrence in a while. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Lawrence cut his hair. Correct me. Did you have long hair before? Or am I mixing you up with someone?
No, I cut it off.
Oh, okay.
I donated it.
Oh, where'd you donate it to?
Lots of love.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Well, I remember having you over here. I haven't seen you in a while, but I'm glad that you are back. You ready to get into it?
Yes, I am.
Go ahead.
Okay. This is a old poem from my old life. So, in my life, will I succeed after living a life of dirty deeds? I pray to God I still have time to rid the demons inside my mind, because I've been possessed by the demons of the past. My Lord, tell me this won't last. My parents trying to corrupt my mind, making me a blind man that would never see. And I'm lost after all this time, thinking back what they've done to me. They said it's the blacks I should fear, but my own people are the one hurting me here. There's no denying the fact my own people stab me in the back, and I can't lie, it doesn't hurt that my own people would treat me lower than dirt. But I'd rather die and fight for what I believe than let the world's wrong take control of me. I'm not going to get caught in the mix with these lies, shits, and dirty tricks. So my mind is in a suicide state, fighting with a heart filled with a lifetime of hate. I'm not going to lie, after all the pain, they made me cry. They made me wish they would die. Tell me, my dear Lord, what am I living for? With a life I can't take no more. It feels like I'm always going to war. With no father or mother to love me, I wasn't raised right and it ain't hard to see. So I'm living life with no fear and alone, trying to survive with the anger in my own war zone. Now my mind is screaming, my heart is barely beating. After my father's beating, I try to scream, but nobody can hear me because I can't breathe. The blood in my throat is choking me. I'm having nightmares of this scene, but this is my real life and not some dream. My knees are broken, my blood dripping on the floor, hands out reaching for the door, but I could barely move, so I'm crawling across the floor. With their broken chairs and wooden sticks my father used to beat me with. Now I'm thinking I'm not going to make it. Here's the end of my broken life, and my father's going to take it. But I'm not giving in and live his life in sin. You want me to give up and stop this stuff? But I'd rather spit blood to your face because I'd rather die fighting when I leave this place. So I live one more day, but Lord, this can't go on this way. After all these years, I'm still looking for peace. Gotta stop these tears. It's time for my life to be deceased. I gotta stop these memories of my lifetime of misery. I pray the Lord you forgive me for I didn't mean to do the wrong, but now it's too late. My life will soon be gone. My heartbeat is going to a flat line. My heart is giving up this time. I'm looking down to the ground, people over my dead body standing around. My mom crying on her knees, pretending she cared about me. Why are you thinking that you did care? Not once did you ask for my welfare. I love you, those words were never said, but now it's too late because I'm dead. In my life, you had me cursed, trying to trap me since the day of my birth. My life always looking dim, always living in your life of sin. But now it's time to move on. God, forgive me for what I did wrong. God, please take my hand and lead me to the promised land. I'm begging you, help me once more. Please let me through heaven's door.
Unmute yourself and give Lawrence.
That was
Lawrence,
amazing, Lawrence.
nice.
Jesus.
Justice to the soul right there. Thank you for donating your
Are you
hair.
waiting
That's
for
such a good cause.
April to go?
Lawrence Chen. I always say this time and time again, the best artists in the world are those that allow themselves to be the most vulnerable. Lawrence, thank you for your vulnerability. Where can we find you online?
I don't have any social media.
Oh, gotcha. On the run. Witness protection program.
Trying to keep it down from the feds.
I hear you. Thank you, Lawrence. Don't be
the dining room.
Not everyone got muted. Okay. Lawrence, thank you. Don't be a stranger. Lawrence Chen with the new haircut too, man. I remembered the long hair. Also, shout out to Thomas Connor. I know he had his mic on. His video on earlier. Shout out to him. And Luis Santiago, who's always on Facebook, lighting it up for us. Appreciate you, man. Now we're going to circle back to Kai Brackens. Where is Kai? Kai, are you there? I'm calling you, Kai. You said you would be here. Where's there she is in the rosy glasses. Let me unmute Kai. Kai, how are you this evening?
I'm doing all right. I didn't know about the whole email sitch, so I was like, well, I guess I didn't make it on tonight.
Yeah, I think that's because of the thing that happened with Miguel. I'm not sure. There's been a lot going on at the cafe. I know no one got emails, so I don't want you to think it was just you. No one got emails, but I'm glad that you're here.
No,
and
I
you are on the
didn't
list.
hear anything.
All right,
All
cool,
right.
cool.
It's good to be with you guys. All right, sorry if this is laggy. I'm on my phone, so good luck to this. This is my first poem I ever did. So we're going way back. This is called Loud Fat Mixed Girl. This is the first piece I ever performed, and it's because of this I got into poetry. So let's get into it. Loud Fat Mixed Girl walks with shoulders back and head held high. She walks as if she's carrying a crown on top of the massive curls her mom and dad gave her as a halo. They do not see that the crown's gold has peeled to show the thorns that grew for her, the broken branches of her family tree. She doesn't smile in the hallways. She knows her enemies would see happiness and mistake it for weakness, label her grin as an enemy plane and shoot it down with their voices like bullets from a smoking gun. She grits her teeth and walks with eyes straight forward. Loud fat mixed girl, queen of the resting bitch face. Her armored expression a shield against a harsh reality. A society where the big girl is a walking fetish, an example of a toxic sign on a human body. Loud fat mixed girl, a picture too big for her frame, a heart with a for sale sign sitting promptly in the same place for 2 years. She is nobody's first choice. She loves the way they stare when she walks. It reminds her that she ripples like water, that her skin is the sea rising to swallow her bones like islands. She enjoys the way they whisper in disgust. She loves the name they croon to her with as much affection as they can afford a whale on land. Muffin Top. Hippo. She smiles all so sweetly, candy between clenched teeth, as if she didn't know that her skin carries softness in each step, that her bones creak and groan beneath her mask. Loud fat mixed girl is stained Picasso blue. A constant self-portrait of not good enough. They tie nooses out of insults, hang her and call it a gallery. She wears paint as her protection, covering herself in yellow each morning, painting herself the color of the sun to hide her storm clouds that gave her those lightning marks across her stomach and thighs. Loud fat mixed girl, despite the people who smile when they see her, despite the ones who love her, She remembers that she can only hold them at arm's distance, that she can't hold a man or a woman to save her life because she isn't the mirror image of the blonde model they saw in the magazines, that she doesn't believe that God painted her a love story, that he painted her Medusa with stretch marks instead of scales. Loud, fat, mixed girl just forces it back to where her jaw aches, like the time where guys, such as her ex, wanted to force themselves to stop her voice, turn her mouth into something more constructive. She forces her bitterness to hide and continues to walk down the empty streets, drives the empty ghost town roads of her DMs where not even her friends can be found. Loud, fat, mixed girl says she's okay. She pretends she's telling the truth. She wants it to be the truth. It's not. There's my shit to say.
Woo! Give it up for Kai
Thank you, Kai.
Bracken.
Thank you.
Okay.
Let's go,
Go,
good.
Kai.
Nice that you got that. Yeah.
Amazing, Kai. Amazing.
Kai Brackens, we got the backstory to her social media handle. I appreciate that, man. I like following all of your stories, and then it's like the movies or a TV show. Then it's like, all right, this next episode is a flashback. That's what this felt like in the TV show of Kai. Kai, where can the people find you online?
As Advocate kind of said, because of my social media handle, you can find me on IG at Kai_loudfatmixpoet. Also on IG at Kyleen2001 or on Facebook at Kyleen Brackens. Love you guys. Peace.
Thank you, Kai. Wait, is Max there? Max is next.
Yeah, Max, you want to share? Are you sharing or not? I'm going to pass you the phone if you are.
Oh, God.
Max. Game time decisions.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure,
okay,
sure.
go.
Let's go. You signed
It's
up.
the
Let's
night,
go.
y'all.
Let's get it. Let's get it in. Come on. All right, Chris
Go.
Evans here. Let's go.
This is a shorter one. I don't know if I've shared it here before. It's called Dripping Yellow. I have spent my life walking on eggshells. Step 1, 2, 3, crack. Yoke under my foot and fear in my heart. Those broken eggshells translate to terror. One wrong step and the monster makes an appearance, even if it's only in my mind, even if it's only been in my mind for years. The monster died long ago, but I still wait for its teeth to close around my neck, wait for red to mix with the yellow of the busted yolk, drip, dripping onto the piles of eggshell and bone. I watch in slow motion as I misstep, wait for the roar of damnation. It doesn't even matter if the egg is broken. I am still wrong. It made sure I knew that before passing on. The monster's claws will never fully pull themselves from my skin. So with a sickening crunch, I crumble like so many eggshells.
I heard the sound effects on that one. Give it up for Max.
Nice.
Nice.
But I was stepping on eggshells for a second.
Good show.
That
Good
was
show.
great. What was the hesitation?
I heard the crunching, even though there really was none. I just heard it, and the eggshells cracking and everything. It's crazy. And I just watched this thing on Falcons, Peregrine Falcons, and we used to use this certain chemicals to kill bugs, and then it was making the hawks eggs crack and everything. So like my mind was there. You hit it out of the park. Max, where can we find you online?
Y'all can find me at maxieboy_poetry, MAXIEBOI_poetry.
Thank you, Max.
Thanks, y'all.
Max C, make sure you put that information in the chat and put Kai's information in the chat. Max C. Okay, so we've gotten to everyone on our guaranteed list, which means I want to unmute this very kind woman who has been smiling at me, butchering her name. All right, I'm going to try one more time, then you say, is it Idiono?
It's Idianga.
Oh, wait, say it again.
Idianga.
Idiana?
Idianga.
How do you pronounce the end of it? It's that last syllable.
So the O and the N and the O are actually phonetic symbols. So the O actually looks like a backward C, and then the N has the tail to it. And I mean, it's like, okay, it's like, you know, when you say door, like the
Yeah.
sound of the two O's together, that or sound, without the R, right? The aw sound without the R. And then when you say sing and song, you don't say sing, you don't say song. So there's an actual phonetic symbol for that NG sound, and that's actually the letters in my name. But the only way that I could actually write it is with an O and an. I've had this my entire life, so people call me everything from Idiana, Idiono, Idianga, but it's Idianga.
Idiana.
Idianga.
Idiana.
Idianga.
I am so gonna. What kind of a name is it?
It's Nigerian. It means a sign or a mark.
I'm going to look that up, and I am going to practice your name this week. And you're going to come back next week just so I can properly say your name, okay?
Okay.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate you being so gracious about me butchering your name. I am
It's
so
all
sorry.
good. It's all good. Thank you so much. And by the way, I just happen to be a spectator. I have been truly privileged for the past maybe month or so. It's my first time on Zoom with you guys, but I've always followed you on Facebook Live. So I decided to jump on today to kind of have a little bit more of an interactive experience with you guys. And I want to thank every single one of you poets on here, because especially during this crazy time that we're in, just hearing everybody's voice, their intonations, their dialects, their accents, everything, it really is a form of like community meditation, to be really honest. And it really helps me anyway. I don't know how you guys all feel, but it helps me to be able to even take, like a breath and a pause, and how it is that I, use my voice in engaging and interacting with people. And so I'm truly appreciative of your words, your imagination, the way that you just invoke such imagery with what you have from within. And thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you all so much for having me.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I know we need more than just the poets. We need the audience who comes. So thank you very much. And come back next week. I'm gonna get
I
your name right.
will.
Okay. I'm gonna work on that. All right, cool. So also shout out to Sean Boogie. Sean Boogie, he doesn't have his video on, it's just a picture. Sean Boogie looks like the nightmare of like every 15-year-old boy. And this is what you don't want the girl's father to look like. And that's exactly what Sean Boogie looks like. So shout out to him. Shout out to George Molina. I think he's on the waiting list. Shout out to Noreen, who's on the waiting list. Shout out to Midnight, Mariela Cabrera, Umberto, who's always here. Appreciate it. McKay Foster, don't know who that is. Shout out to McKay. Donald Brooks, shout out. See you watching. And I think I got everyone who's still here and is not on the open mic list. So with that being said, let us go into the waiting list. And the first one is Paul Conqueso, but he's not here either, right? Man, all of a sudden, what happened? People got lives now? Like, y'all can't hang out with me online on Mondays? What the hell's wrong with these people? Go write them a nasty note. You know who they are. All right, here's someone who decided to spend his precious Monday night with us, and I appreciate it, and that is Norm Mathematics. Norm, thank you for being here tonight. How are you, brother?
I'm doing wonderful, and thank you so much for holding us together. Thank you so much, man. I love this.
I appreciate you, man.
This first piece, I went into my inventory and it hits the button on dark and winter, yeah, and then there's the second piece. So this first piece is called Sleigh Ride into the Valley. It was fun until picking up speed, tears spraying out, eyes barely open into wind velocity needed for flight. My Yankee Clipper sled jetting towards a wide open space into darkness and expansive silence. A favorite winter careen down Hammersley Avenue becomes a takeoff runway for Devil's Slide. Do I dare renegade sled, no brakes into the dark? Do I yield to fear and suffer turf burn, bail out at Brunner Avenue? Do I have the faith to sprout wings, flying into the yawning abyss, guided by an inner beacon, shedding light onto the flight path through the void without a compass? No matter. I will land securely in a place that will grow under my feet, living without fear of death before dying. Second piece, called The Infrastructure Project. The superhighway called life, mixed in concrete and asphalt. I am the pavement. I am the fork in my road. The direction is forward. I am the ravine becoming a canyon. Rivers and time erode inventions of memory. I become a trench, diving in on itself, swimming into undercurrents, fins morphing into wings, flying out of the depths, dark becoming fuel, propelling me towards inner flame. When the road in front of me ends, I must become the bridge that gets me to the other side. Peace.
Give some love to Norm
Thank
Mathematics.
you, Norm.
Nice.
Oh, Norm.
That was so nice.
Love you, man.
Such
Very
good work.
nice.
Oh, yes.
Norm Mathematics, always a pleasure to have him on. And if you've been listening after the poets come on, you probably recognize his voice because he's been given so much love tonight. Norm, where can the people find you online?
They find me online at Norm_Maddox on IG and Norm Maddox at Facebook.
Dope. Thank you, brother. Make sure you put that information into the chat room as well, okay?
Okay, man, I'm looking forward to seeing you again. Peace.
Norm Mathematics. Next, coming up on the open mic list, was supposed to be Metronome, but she's not here. So we are going to Japan and we are going to speak with Poeta Ku. Where is he? He better be here. There he is. There he is. Oh, yes. We've got India, Ireland today, and the UK, and now Japan. And of course, America. We love America too. Poeta Ku, how are you, brother?
Hey, hi. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. You're good to go.
Yeah. Tonight's theme is darkest winter. I'm facing the winter of my life because after the age of 50, I often feel the physical and mental decline, okay, weakness, decline, physical and mental. And yesterday, in fact, to be honest, I also beat in the poetry slam in Japan. So I'm gonna read a poet to cheer myself up. So it's a so exaggerated title, The Sun Also Rises. So I hope you all like it. Please watch.
Hey Siri,
Hey Siri,
when does the sun rise?
Sunrise will be at 6:47 a.m. today.
Keep on going, keep on flying. Don't look back. Focus forward. Not left and right. You're always alive. The status quo is always gone. So don't love. Don't regret. Keep on going. Keep on flying. Keep on going, keep on going, keep on flying. They hate you, just a paranoid. Even if you respect yourself, a panther, enemies could be friends. Be optimistic, that's a fucking tactic. I keep on going, keep on flying. Keep on going, keep on going, keep on flying. It was Gandhi who discussed Thatcher, a Hitler beater. What's much more there? What about the status? What about the medals? Is this pussy
the peace authorities. I keep it going, I keep it flying, I keep it going, keep it going, keep it flying. It's the behavior, not the birth, that determines the person's worth. A patient rather than revenge, pain rather than weapon. Oh girl, again, we keep running into each other. Every time I see you, I wanna travel on your back like news. But you always say, never rewrite your life. I can give you a pass. Oh girl, when the hell will you do me a favor? Do I have to live 1,000 years like Yoda? Give me a break. As you know, my life is just a history of loss. Jobs, friendship, love of family, pride, hope, and the body. What more do you want me to lose? Life is a self-made script? That's ridiculous. I don't have a lifesaver to turn any more tear-jerking masterpieces into bullshit. Both the earth and the DNA of blueprints interwoven with the damn chronicles. So please go. Please pick me up from those fucking tales and take me on a wonderful adventure. Adventure that will make me an invincible hero like Final Fanta. Where is the plan? The monkey's birth. The illusionary. The fighting us. That were a walking shadow. Tall by an idiot. Sickening a nutbag. And nothing is the mother bird. The winter comes. The spring back behind. The cold is the must. To break the dormancy. To go to the tunnel. The safety tunnel. And keep on going. The sound rises. I keep on going, yes. I keep on going, come. I keep on going, keep on going. Sound rises. I keep on going. I keep on going, keep on going, keep on going, going, son. Thank you all so much.
Unmute yourselves and
My
give some
goodness.
love to Poeta
Oh,
Cool.
yeah. That was awesome.
Oh,
Poeta.
That was dope.
Different.
Very nice
whoa.
job, Poetic.
Thank
That was
you.
Great fire.
Yeah, real good.
Poeta Cool from Japan, getting up early to hang out with us as well. Poeta Cool, where can the people find you online?
Oh, whoa, all right, all right. This is all my account. Please check it out. I pray for the Migo and New Yorker Poets Cafe and all the poets and audience and myself. The sun also rises. Thank you. I appreciate all advocates, everyone. See you again. Have a good Christmas. It'll be early. Thanks.
You couldn't hear me. I saw people waving their hands. I was like, what's going on? You couldn't hear me. And I was just saying, we have had a great international day here and night, morning, depending on where you're at. I appreciate everyone. We've come to the end of it. I'm sorry to those on the waiting list. Again, if you want to sign up for our next Monday night online open mic, do so on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, neweuropean.org. Click on full events calendar and get an artist RSVP ticket. So I am so happy to have you guys tonight, especially when the bad news came about Miguel. So it's always sad to hear, it's sad to hear something like that, but I'm happy that when I got the information, I was hanging out with you guys and doing something that Miguel Algarin started. So if you don't know who he is, go look him out. Miguel Algarin, Algarin. He is one of the co-founders of the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. So with that being said, good night, sweet poet. Thank you for sharing the poems that you've written. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Good night, sweet poet. May your dreams be as imaginative as tonight's poems. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for inviting us and Miguel's spirit into your home. This has been the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. And it is my great pleasure to host. I am Advocate of Words. That's with a Z. You can look me up online. And enjoy the rest of your night. I know I'm kind of thrown because of the loss with Miguel, but whatever we decide to do, we will let everyone know. Other than that, everyone, enjoy the rest of your night. And thank you. Thank you for getting me through some tough news. I really appreciate y'all. All right. Now, y'all.